Hi there, it's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com here with match number 2 with the event deck. This is going up against a Jeskai Ascendancy combo. This is actually one of my friends. He plays this game plays this deck pretty religiously. Has had some pretty good records with it at the GP. So I thought that this game might easily just get blown up by a deck that is pretty fine-tuned for the metagame and is used to dealing with aggro. But I do lose the die roll. He's going to go first. So one thing that we do have hope with, Jeskai Ascendancy combo can just beat itself. It looks like we look at his hand. He's got the Ascendancy. He's got a Rattleclaw Mystic. And I have to mulligan. So it's not looking good for me whatsoever here. So I'll mulligan down to the 6 cards. So we'll take a look at my 6 here. I can't quite see what I have in the hand. It does look like I have plenty of lands. So we'll go ahead and definitely keep this hand. And he starts off with a Yavimaya Coast. And I'll go ahead and put my tap land into play, my Frontier into play. And he goes with a Mystic Monastery. And then it looks like I have an Heir of the Wilds, and I think that will be the play. And that's a great 2-turn drop because a Caryatid can't block it and survive. And it looks like he's got a Rattleclaw Mystics. It looks like he has a Godsend in hand, so I think he's trying out Godsend. It's just kind of a card. He puts it in versus kind of as a defensive move to assemble the combo. And I apologize for the glare there, right on the Rattleclaw Mystic. But get in there for 3 damage with the Heir of the Wilds, so he's down to a 17. And then we get the Savage Knuckleblade online on time, which is exactly what this deck wants to do. Pretty much, that's probably the best 6-hand we could ask for. I can pump the Savage Knuckleblade next turn. And it doesn't appear that he has the Ascendancy. He can actually cast the Ascendancy. It's probably what he's going to end up doing is threaten the Ascendancy. No, he's going to look for, he's going to set up his hand. And so he sees a Caryatid. There's the Retraction Helix. So he's got the combo online here. I believe that's a Retraction Helix. And he's probably going to throw away everything but the Retraction Helix. Yeah, that's what he looks like he puts on top. And he's going to chuck everything else away. So I know that I'm on a clock here. And so he does... Looks like he missed a land drop here, though. So he can't actually go Ascendancy this turn. And we can now apply a lot of pressure. And let's see what I draw into. I think I do draw into the answer for the Rattleclaw. And I'm going to go ahead and scry. And it was, I believe, a land, so I throw the land on bottom there. A great scry from the Temple of Abandon. And then swing in with the Savage Knuckleblade and pump it. So I am definitely in danger for the Ascendancy combo. He has the mana. He's got the Retraction Helix. He can definitely just go for a turn 5 kill here if he can actually find what he needs with the Retraction Helix. So he needs a 0-cast card to then bounce back a million times and then go for the kill with the Rattleclaw. So he goes the Ascendancy and then taps the Rattleclaw Mystic, which adds a mana and then untaps it, gives it its ability, and he is going to loot away the Mystic Monastery. He needs to find an untapped land, or what does he need to find here? And then Ultra Brute, so he needs to find a 0-drop, and he goes for anything here that can cast for 1. Dig Through Time's not going to do it. A Treasure Cruise would have been nice. A Dig, he needs 2 mana. He needed to find a land to be able to cast the Dig Through Time, or he needed to find a 0-drop or a 1 casting cost Treasure Cruise. So anyway, he's got to discard the Twin Flame and then pass the turn to me, and he's at 6. So now it puts him on a really, really bad spot with having to block with the Rattleclaw. And I can't remember if I have removal in my hand or not. I think you see that Godsend in his hand. I think he's trying that out. He's been having a hard time with like the very aggressive Abzan aggro decks. And then if you put a Godsend on like a Sylvan Caryatid, it can really stall the game. That's what they're trying out for the Ascendancy combo because it's really getting run over by aggro decks. You see I don't give him much room even with this deck. So he's got to block on the Knuckleblade, and I have the Creator's Claw for the win. So not a bad little game number 1. So we'll go ahead and sideboard here, and I believe I'm definitely going to bring in the Reclamation Sages. I thought about Arc Lightning, but I know his deck inside out. He uses, like, I think he might even side out the Mystics. I doubt that he does, but he has a lot of hexproof. He's got the Basara Tower Archers, as well as there's a cyber right there. You see a lot of Stormbreath Dragons. He switches over like Stormbreath Dragon and Rattlecrown Mystic, which I highly doubt he'd want to do against my deck. He does that versus like Control. Control will take out a lot of the removal, and then you bring in the Knuckle Blades and the Stormbreath Dragons, so you can just run over, kind of the bait and switch tactic, and run them over with aggro. So I'm going to bring in the Reclamation Sages, and I don't think I bring in much more. Maybe the Stubborn Denials, but Disdainful Stroke doesn't want to come in versus his deck. In fact, it counters nothing, and I think that's what I end up doing, is just bringing in the Reclamation Sages and the Stubborn Denials. So yeah, I'm looking through again to see if I want anything or what I'm going to take out. Take out the Arc Lightnings. I'm thinking about taking out the Polish Crusher, and that's what I'm going to end up doing, is just taking out like Arc Lightnings and Roasts. And there you see the Mistcutter Hydra goes out. I don't really care about a Mistcutter Hydra. It doesn't do much. Too slow for this. In fact, I didn't really like Mistcutter Hydra in the deck. What I'm really starting to think about this deck, and I'll talk more about in the wrap-up, is it really is a shame there was no... I think this deck wanted a lot of Rattleclaw Mystics. The Golden Hinds are just plain awful in the deck, as they can't really find you that source you need for the Fanatic of Xenagos, or the Polish Crusher, or like what I'm saying is the deck can be heavy on the green, and then rely on Elvish Mystic and Rattleclaw Mystic to ramp up. Elvish Mystic can't ramp up into a non-green card. Like, you still have to find that source, that green source for, or the other source for like the Rattleclaw Mystic or the Fanatic of Xenagos, the red and the blue for the Knuckle Blade. So Golden Hind is just kind of bad there. So I'm thinking the deck did not want Golden Hinds. They could have used the rares. If it seems to me like Wizards has like an allotment of rares that they are willing to use on an event deck, where the 8 or 10. I don't know the exact amount, but Mistcutter Hydra I think easily could have gone away, and the Polish Crusher was kind of a weird addition into it. It's just really not a card anybody wants to use at the moment. It seems like a decent card, but I definitely see the Mistcutter Hydra wants to be a Rattleclaw Mystic. Anyway, so we'll go on to we'll shuffle up here and then go on to match number 2. All right, so here we are in match number 2. I will be on the draw this time, and we look at his opening hand. He looks like he has the Dragon's Mantle, which is what you want to see in the deck, as well as it's just a free card that loots, and it does look like he has a Commune with the Gods, but it doesn't look like he has any Jeskai Ascendancy or a creature in his deck. There's God sending in. Oh, there's the Ascendancy. So he's on the right track, and he's deciding whether he wants to keep this. Like, I don't really know what is a good hand and what is not a good hand in Jeskai Ascendancy. I despise the deck. I abhor the deck. I really don't like it. Again, I think I consider myself more a synergistic player than a combo player. I've been playing Tooth and Nail recently on MTGO, and I like it just because it has other angles it can win and always threatening with the combo. But a lot of just I guess I did play Storm too, so modern combo is okay. But this is a deck that in Standard I hate playing it and playing against it. It just seems ugh. So anyway, he's gonna go with a Temple of Plenty into a Temple of Plenty, and he keeps. I didn't see what he kept on top there, but I have the Frontier, and then which was awkward because I believe I have an Elvish Mystic in my hand. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, the Mystic comes out. So again, I wanted to the kind of the damned if you do, damned if you don't with this is if you go first turn Forest, Elvish Mystic, and then have to play comes into play tap land, it's kind of awkward. And so yeah, there's my Forest. It probably still is the best move though, but I think that if you could draw into an Heir of the Wilds, and then I don't know what it is, but here we get a third turn Fanatic of Xenagos, and we're able to attack in for 5. And we had the pressure again against the Ascendancy. He has the Godsend, and he's gonna be able to get a Caryatid and then play another land. Looks like an Astral Cornucopia is in his hand. There's the Ascendancy combo, so he's trying to figure out whether he wants to use like the Astral Cornucopia. He still needs the Retraction Helix, and it looks like he's just going to loot with the or or search with his commune. And again, sorry about the glare. He finds a ton of Ascendancies and a Caryatid, and he takes one more Ascendancy. So now he's got 2 Ascendancies in his hand. Throws away, looks like a bunch of a Mystic Monastery, and an Ascendancy? Or is that another Ascendancy that he finds? So anyway, we do have the aggression. He's got a Caryatid that can't block a Fanatic of Xenagos. Well, it can, but then we'll die. And I'm just trying to apply as much pressure as possible. And it looks like, so for 3 mana, I'm going to keep up a blue here because I know that I have a Stubborn Denial, I believe, in my hand. So I'm going to equip or bestow a Mogus's Warhound on the Fanatic of Xenagos and swing in for 5. So that's really good. It's got Trample. The Fanatic of Xenagos has Trample. The Warhound gives it +2/+2 and makes it attack, but we're going to be swinging in no matter what. The Godsend's kind of weird. He can equip the Godsend to his Caryatid. He still looks like he's out of red, so if he wants to play the Ascendancy, he has to tap his Caryatid. Yeah, it looks like he's got 2 Yavimaya Coasts and 2 Temple of Plenty's out, so he's missing that red source except for the Caryatid. So again, awkward. He can cast the Cornucopia for that red source, but the Cornucopia is going to, take some mana to do so. And I think that's what he's going to end up doing. And it's 3 mana for the Cornucopia just to add a red. And either way, it's going to be... He's in a predicament here because then he can't equip his Godsend to the Caryatid. Again, Godsend's in here to be hooked up to a Caryatid to play defense mode till he can establish the combo. Again, he's not quite sure if this is going to be a staple in the deck. It's something they're trying out. And so far, he didn't like it. I don't believe in this Friday Night Magic, but aggro can be very difficult for Ascendancy. Ascendancy combo can go off very, very quickly, but they need all of their pieces to just align perfectly to do so. And so a lot of times you don't want to try to race a aggro deck unless you're for sure going to have the combo, and the statistics for that happening isn't as likely as an aggro deck just to run you over. So you do have to have some sort of plan to play defense mode. And he's tried Wild Slashes in the past. He's tried Magma Sprays to get rid of the Goblin Realm Master, and what happens then is the abs and aggro, all the things that get rid of Goblin or Realm Master, not get rid of those. But anyway, Stubborn Denial and Ascendancy, and he's got that tapped, the Caryatid tapped, and it does actually look like he has a Battlefield Forge in hand, and I think he's debating whether to just slap another Ascendancy and then go for it next turn. But that Stubborn Denial was perfect. It's Stubborn Denial, since I do have a 4-power creature out, the Ferocious, it just counters a non-creature spell. Just flat out counters it. So he's going to go with the Battlefield Forge. He's going to have to take... Oh, no, he does not take anything because he goes for the Cornucopia for 1. So I know that I'm definitely on a clock next turn. I know I can attack in. He's getting really desperate in looting here without an Ascendancy out. So he's only going to get 1 draw off this. And it looks like another Godsend. So you can see that how the deck can... stumble, and it has no room to stumble against an aggro deck. So I'm just going to swing in for, it looks like 6 damage there, and then Arc Lightning him for the rest because he's down to a 9. And it shows he has the other Ascendancy, but no way to really go off. So aggro deck really punishes the Ascendancy combo, and we take this down 2-0. So far we're 4-0. Black-blue control goes down and Ascendancy combo goes down. Both of those, I would say, are pretty good matchups for the event deck. So far I'm liking the event deck. We've seen a 3rd turn Savage Knuckleblade. We've seen a 3rd turn Fanatic of Xenagos. We've seen Heir of the Wilds becoming active with its +1/+1 on turn 3. It seems like a very, very well-built deck with a little bit of hiccups with some of the choices I think they used for the rares. Anyway, we'll go on to the next matchup. This has been Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com. Thanks for watching.